All right, for the final segment today for our... Oh, I didn't even get that page number. I'm an idiot. For our Mutant Elysium, we're going to talk about biomechatronics. That's right, the implants that you can get for your character. And what is this whole machine fever thing? Well, I'm sure people have played other cyberpunk games, or some of you have, and you've heard of things like cyberpsychosis. It's something similar, but we are going to take a deeper dive into that in just a moment. We believe that role-playing games should take place in fantastic worlds. The focus of the game should be on role-playing and having a good time. The core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national, nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. Join us Thursday and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth to watch Heathen Dog and his team of dirty casuals play multiplayer games for your mockery and enjoyment. Here on our YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, or check out the Friday night show stream where our panel of guests opine, comment, and editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. Please like this video and leave a comment to appease the algorithm gods. Share this video on your favorite social media platforms to help us peer out of the shadows cast over us. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe to Legion of Myth for more tabletop RPG goodness. Boom, there we are with our Mutant Elysium book again. You know, one of the things I do want to say for the folks who watch this on as the actual live stream who are in chat right now, I appreciate you guys putting up with how we format this for the video aspect of it later on. I know you guys understand why we do it, but I do thank you for it, because seeing that same intro probably 4 times on a live stream probably does get a little annoying, but hey, you guys are awesome. You guys support us well, and I do want to thank you for putting up with some of the shenanigans that we have to do in order to make decent videos, throughout the week. So now, with that said, let's get into here. And 141. Oh no, I said I was going to show you guys the artifacts, and so we got artifacts on biomechatronics. So we're not going to get into purchasing and so forth. This is what it costs in credits. So remember, a person with 10 credits does have a pretty decent amount of money, because you can buy a patrol hovercraft for that, okay? I mean, it takes 15 for energy armor. And let's see, what is energy armor? We'll take a look at what energy is. This, by the way, this is not biomechatronics yet. These are just the artifacts. These are things that you can get from your grandpa. You know what I'm talking about? Watch the previous video. Grandpa's probably got one. So energy armor. What does it say? It says an advanced experimental armor created for combat is extremely in extremely hazardous environments. The armor is made of black composite material that covers the entire body, including the head. Electrodes in the helmet read the wearer's brain signals and amplify all movements automatically. Wow, isn't this technology so different from Mutant Year Zero, Mutant Gen Lab? Well, Mutant Gen Lab Alpha, at least you're living in a pristine wilderness. But it's so different from everything else that's falling apart. Here, look at all this technology you got. Armor rating 12. Now, so that you're not confused in case you've played other Year Zero engine games, in Mutant Year Zero, armor rating of 12 means you roll 12 dice. That's what it means. 12 dice to try to stop damage. Every 6 is considered a success. So essentially, you have an average armor rating here of stopping 2 points of damage. Unless you're really like crap. And chances are you're going to be able to stop 3 or 4 points of damage. So it's pretty heavy armor. That's some good stuff. It's armor rating against both damage and zone rot. Oh, geez. So out in the zone, this is amazing. Gear bonus +3 to force, fight, and move. That means when you're punching somebody, again, you're basically wearing an exoskeleton. For Battletech fans, here's your elemental, man. For modern people, this is your Asher. That's right. I said, go check out Land and Sea by Blaine Lee Pardoe, and you'll know what I'm talking about when it comes to Asher. Eliminates all negative effects of darkness. So you got night vision. Has an energy weapon, although it requires an E-Pack. And it's an electronic item. Costs 15. But it also has a development requirement of technology 80. And you're like, what does that mean? Well, if you've watched the old Mutant Year Zero video on the Ark, you'll know what that means. Be like, hey, we're not in the Ark yet. Well, guess what? Mutant Elysium also has development levels. So dev bonus, technology D6, defense D6. So that's what it gives you for having it. All right, and there's your Gauss pistol. If you want to stop, pause that, you can. All right, let's get to the biomechatronics, because that's what we're going to talk about. Biomechatronics. Zoom in on that so you guys can see it. Look, I know some of you watch on phones. I don't understand that. I'm old, I guess, but I don't do anything on my phone. Yep, that pretty much ends it right there. I don't do anything. I don't even talk on the phone. Over the decades of isolation, Elysium researchers have been working to modify and improve humanity in order to one day survive on the desolate surface. Two research fields made great leaps forwards. Xenogenetics, which is a big spoiler right there. All right, you can scroll back and see what that spoiler was. Oh, sigh. We've talked about it before, though. Biomechatronics seeks to enhance and improve mankind with mechanical implants. This research made incredible advances in Elysium 1 during the early years of the Enclave. Due to the risk of machine fever, which we'll talk about below, biomechatronic implants are relatively uncommon among the highborn. Ew, I will not put that in my body. I am not going to interface with such dirty, uncultured, uncivilized metal. Gross. Most members of the House usually avoid biomechatronics altogether or have very discreet implants. By contrast, biomechatronics are very common among the Enclave workers. Hey, man, you know, nobody gives a crap about us anyway. We just want to survive, so let's wear stuff in us that's going to help us survive. Many of them have large and rough implants. Entire body parts can be built from metal and ceramics, either to replace those lost to damage or simply to make the worker stronger and more durable. Work harder, slave! Over time, large biomechatronic implants have become a trend among the workers who show off their implants with pride. Ew, look at the rabble. Implants. 20 common implants are described below and summarized in the table on the next page. And just before, make more for your game if you want to. Nothing limits you to these 20. Look them over, and if you find something that you think would be neat for your game, relate it to something that you find here and make more. Using implants. Biomechatronic implants function as artifacts and usually have an associated gear bonus. Makes sense. A reduced gear bonus can be fixed by so basically a reduced gear bonus means if it's damaged, if the biomechatronic implant is damaged, by a technician in the same way as artifacts. All implants count as electronic items. When a skill roll using a bonus from an implant is made, there's also a risk of triggering machine fever. See below. There's nothing below. So let's go to the side. Player characters or soldier technicians may take a biomechatronic implant during character creation, but of course you have to take that talent to do that, right? Any PC can buy a biomechatronic throughout the course of the game. The cost and credits is shown with each implant. This cost covers both the implant and the surgery. Grafting implants. This is funny, by the way. I love this grafting. Grafting an implant requires a surgical procedure. This is risky. All right, makes sense. The patient is automatically broken. You are down to 0. Boop. And my guess is it's in strength, but maybe you could say fatigue as well. By the procedure and suffers, it's because it doesn't notice it says broken. It doesn't say how you're broken, fatigue, strength. Maybe they're all zeros. Maybe it's doubt also. You're like, oh crap, what did I do? Why did I do this? Why did I do this? By the procedure and suffers a critical injury. Say what? That's right. You suffer a critical injury. This means that the patient risks dying if the surgeon fails his heal roll. So not only does he have to put this crap in you and you have to spend points on it, the person doing this has to make a heal roll depending on what the critical injury is, or you could die or go insane or suffer some massive penalties, a stroke. I don't know. We should actually look at that critical chart today. Maybe we could do that because we haven't looked at the combat chart since the first series on Mutant Year Zero. Maybe we can look at that after we look at these implants. Remind me. Somebody in chat, remind me, please. Elysium researchers initially had major plans to strengthen all Enclave residents with biomechatronic implants, but they soon understood the drawbacks of the technology. Replacing large parts of the human body with artificial machine prosthetics could trigger violent side effects. The researchers came to call these symptoms machine fever. pushing the roll. Now, you know that when you push a roll, you take damage, right? Or no. Let me back. That you do take. You can take damage if you get a 1 or a Bane on the gear dice. You can hurt an attribute. Well, if remember, it already says these things act like artifacts. Well, that's gear dice. So if you roll a 1 on gear dice, it affects your biomechatronics. It acts as gear. Biomechatronic implants usually have a gear bonus, just like our other artifacts. They differ in what happens when the die roll is pushed and 1 or more Bane comes up. In addition to decrease in gear bonus, -1 per Bane, which is normal, right? The character is also affected by machine fever. The more 1s you roll, more Banes you roll, the worse the effects will be. Well, let's see. If you roll 1 Bane, patient suffers severe trembling and takes 1 point of fatigue. That's damage to your agility. Or, I'm sorry, I should say injury. Trauma to your, some of the game terms here, I forget, but yeah, trauma to your agility. Because remember, damage goes to strength. 2 Banes, or you roll 2 1s. The patient suffers from chills, difficulty breathing, and uncontrollable shaking. You're having an epileptic fit. Character also loses all agility and is broken by fatigue. The patient can recover as normal. So once you have this, so a soldier will probably just use the press on. But you can recover because this is just your attribute stuff. This means you're broken by fatigue, which is your agility. So your agility is down to 0, but you can recover as you normally would from agility. 3 or more 1s. Machine psychosis. The patient suffers a violently psychotic episode and attacks any living targets within near range. This violent outburst lasts until the patient is broken by damage, that's strength. During the rage, the patient will foam at the mouth and is immune to all other forms of trauma. Why is it that mutant Gen Lab Alpha characters don't get rabies, but mutant Elysium characters do? I'm just asking. There you go. If no person is within near range, see number 2 above, which is you're broken by fatigue. After the psychotic rage ends, the patient's empathy score is permanently reduced by 1 point. Permanently. Hey, what happens if you reach 0? Yeah. Black implants. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. Name the movie. All right. On the black market in Elysium 1, biomechatronics are available at half price. However, purchasing them entails major risks, like the risks above weren't enough. Less qualified surgeons who offer the so-called black implants have a low heal skill. In addition, a separate gear die must be rolled whenever a black implant is used. This die only determines whether the machine fever occurs or not. Yeah, you're rolling an extra die to suffer machine fever. Don't do this. Don't do that. All right, let's look at the implants and how much they cost. You have an air tank, costs 3. Communicator, hey, that might help with your contacts, right, too. Data banks, we're going to take a look at that one. 7. Heat vision, interface. We're definitely going to take a look at laser eye also because it's expensive. It is what you think it is, but let's just see what it does in game mechanics. There you go, CB4, you're right. Machine arm, machine legs, monofilament. We might look at that one as well because it's a little more interesting than just being a garrote. Pain inhibitors. This one's really cool for a soldier, by the way. Overdrive, polygraph, reinforced skull, rot protection, shock grip, target scope, tool hand, trash gut. We're going to look at that because I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But you knew the other ones. Yeah, I don't think I read this one. Voice amplifier and weapon mount. That's right. You can have a shoulder mount. So we're definitely going to look at trash gut. All right, there's air tank. Anything over here? Communicator, databanks. Databank, we'll look at that too. The brain is enhanced with large digital storage capacity, which grants +2 gear bonus to comprehend rolls. Up to 40 hours of visual and audio recordings with full accuracy can be saved. That's right, you can record your sessions. Data can be played back on an external device via an interface. User can also upload and store other digital data. Okay. Heat vision. Interface. Built-in receptors in the neck or arm allow the user to connect directly to digital data networks. When attempting to influence or understand advanced technical systems, this implant grants the wearer +2 gear bonus to tinker and comprehend rules. As you can see, some of these implants, actually a lot of these biomechatronic implants are tailored towards certain professions. All right, here's laser eye. A small but powerful laser is installed in an eye socket. It can be used, bye-bye eye. It can be used as a weapon with gear bonus +2. Weapon damage 1. So what does that mean? You roll your agility, because that's what it'd be, and your ranged combat. Is it called ranged combat in Elysium? I think it is. Your agility plus ranged combat, or shoot. I know it's shoot in Elysium. So if you've got 3 dice in agility and 3 dice in shoot, that's 6 dice. Well, you add 2 dice to that, so now you're on 8 dice. If you get 1 or more success, do 1 point of damage. +1, potentially +1 for each additional success, because like every ranged weapon, there's or every shoot, the stunts, you can have different effects. Easy way is just say extra damage. And it goes out to short range. With a successful shoot roll, the laser can also... Oh, there it is right there, shoot. The laser can cut through metal such as bars, chains, or a lock. It's a pretty powerful laser. Costs 9, though. Machine arm, machine legs, monofilament. I said we'd look at this because it's a little bit different than just being a monofilament. Hidden in the thumb is a small weight attached to an extremely thin and strong wire, wound around an internal coil. The weight and wire can be thrown like a yo-yo up to near range. What is near range? 10 meters? Do I have my ranges right? Because short is 25, if I remember correctly. So near, I think, is 10. This is considered a normal attack in close combat with a gear bonus of +2. The wire can cut through meat and bones like a hot knife through butter. It's so dangerous that it automatically inflicts a random critical injury if the attack hits the target. Let me highlight that for you. You don't have to spend an extra attack or an extra success. So, it does not cause regular damage, though. It literally only does critical hits. That's it, just critical hits. Extra successes have no effect. That's all it does is critical hits. So that is kind of neat. All right. Overdrive, pain inhibitors. What I like about pain inhibitors, the body's enhanced with extra synthetic glands that numb the pain and fatigue. Skill rolls using strength or agility are always made. So I want you to think about this in the Year Zero construct. Skill rolls using strength or agility are always made with their full attribute score. So if you have an attribute, a base attribute, your full health, your base strength is 4. And you take 2 points of damage, well, 4 minus 2 is 2. So you're down to 2. And that means you're rolling 2 dice instead of 4 dice. Well, if you have pain inhibitors, you stay rolling 4 dice. You still only have 2 hit points remaining there. I shouldn't use the word hit points, but you still only have 2 strength or agility remaining in terms of damage. You can only take 2 more points of damage before you're broken, but you roll the dice as if you've taken no damage. Polygraph, reinforced skull, rot protection, shock grip. I want a shocky monkey. Targeting scope, tool hand, trash gut. We're going to look at that. I don't know what this does. I have no clue. So what does it say? Efficiency of the mouth, throat, and digestive system are vastly improved so that nutrition can be extracted from rubbish. Oh! That'd be a good one for Mutant Year Zero characters to have, right? The taste buds are removed. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing that. And the sense of smell is significantly dampened. Yeah, you can't have olfactory senses to eat, nonsense, right? The user can eat almost anything in the zone. Okay, so this is definitely used for eating out in the Mutant Year Zero aspect of the game, not so much the Mutant Elysium side, but and therefore will never need grub if there's organic matter nearby. The implant does not provide protection against rot, so you'll still suffer the rot problems, but you don't have to worry about the food being nutritious and safe. And weapon mount. Any portable weapon can be mounted in the arm. This allows the user to draw the weapon without spending a maneuver. It also conceals it. So you got, it pops out. It also conceals the weapon. Others must actively look for the weapon and make a scout roll to spot it. The weapon itself must be purchased separately. Now, I want to note, actively look for. So don't roll just randomly to be like, oh, you know what? He noticed your arm come out, so I'm rolling randomly to see if he knows. No, the person must be looking for a weapon mount. So the weapon itself must be purchased separately. This implant can be obtained several times, one for each weapon to be mounted. Better have a big arm, jeez. So there you go. Those are some of them. And here's Mr. Laser Eye. All right. What are you guys saying in chat? What's going on in chat? What do we got here? I don't know what that means. This is more boring than annoying. I don't know what I was talking about at that time. I get what you said. Oh, the intro stuff. I got it. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Especially if you've heard it 100 times, right? You rolled 12 dice. What was that? Well, so I don't know if that was directly in relation to, but yes, you theoretically could roll 12 dice. Also, monsters. I remember the first time I ran, or not the first time, but I remember one of the first times I ran Forbidden Lands. I was teaching it to some people, and of course they've got my 3 strength, and I've got my 3 and we'll say 4 strength. You know, 4 agility and 3 in my bow skill, right? So I'm rolling 7 dice. Plus my bow gives me, we'll say, 2 gear dice. So there's 7, 8, 9 dice. And they're like, yeah, I'm on top of the world. I got 9 dice. And I come out with like 16 dice. So I think what the guy really complained about was 14. But still, one of the attacks was 16 dice. And the guy threw a temper tantrum at the table. The Year Zero engine games are very team focused. Very team focused. Here's what I want to remind you. If you start looking at those dice and freaking out, yeah, you could be one shot killed. Chance of it happening are actually pretty low, but you could be one shot killed. Remember, your entire team, if you just think, let's just do averages. 3 attribute, 3 dice. Oh, sorry, 3 attribute, 3 skill, and 1 gear die. That's actually kind of low, but we'll go with it. That's 7 dice. 2 characters equal that of what that one monster did. And chances are you have 4 characters. Just remember that. Yes, it can mess you up. But do the actions that put your character at the advantage. Seek cover. Use range attacks against melee creatures. You put yourself in the position to have a bonus or get that ambush. Ambush and surprise is so important in Mutant Year Zero games. If you use those things, yeah, game masters might get annoyed, but game masters can do the same thing back to you. What a game master shouldn't do is be like, well, the ambush didn't work, unless you really didn't roll, or have everybody be like, rank 6 dice scouts, things like that. That's being a douchebag game master. The game is based on tactics and teamwork. If you use those, you're setting yourself up for success. Watching on your phone. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't like watching anything that small, but that's fine. Hey, I appreciate you watching in any way that you do it. All right, Flatty, have a good one. Good to see you here. Once you go black, yeah. Once you go black, you go insane. Yes, you absolutely could make funny shorts and GIFs. Definitely in a game like this that's based on political intrigue, you could definitely make some clips out there that make people look bad. So. Yeah, Dr. Zoidberg is absolutely. Dr. Zoidberg is absolutely right. Eating out the trash cans. Yep. There you go. All right. Well, there we go. We've covered everything to do with the characters. We talked originally about what Mutant Elysium is, like why it's at the point that it is. We then talked about, how to make the character in a very generic sense. Again, I have 3 full-on step-by-step character creation videos for one for Mutant Year Zero, one for Mutant Gen Lab Alpha, one for Mutant Mechatron. I don't have one for Elysium. I actually know what the character would have been. I never end up making that video because I'm not interested in Mutant Elysium. I don't think it's bad as part of the whole gamut. It's just, if I wanted to play a normal human in political intrigue, I'd play BattleTech. But you can watch any one of those videos and still get an understanding of how to create a character in this game. Just replace the contact with, or like a mutant power with contact. That's really all it is. Everything else is generally the same. So you won't go wrong with those. But then today we covered skills, the special skills. We covered talents. We covered contacts, which is the first unique thing with Mutant Elysium compared to the other Mutant games. And we covered biomechatronics. There we go. I can say it. The cybernetics, dang it, for Mutant Elysium. Next week is going to be all about Elysium, what's going on without the spoilers, and what is it that player characters do in Mutant Elysium. And then our Mutant Year Zero series is over. And we'll be moving on to Coriolis, which it's going to be interesting because some of it is unique and some of it's the same. And because it's blended so well together, there are going to be aspects of those segments that you're going to be like, we know. Oh, that's new. Oh, does that different? Oh, wow. I see how that does it different. So, it's going to be fun to try to balance the old versus the new on that one. So, and I don't know how many episodes is going to be for Coriolis. It's going to be more than each one of these, not the entirety of the year zero, where it was like 4 weeks for the first one, 3 weeks for each one after it. But I think it's 6 weeks for Coriolis. I could be wrong, because remember, we have ground combat, we have space combat, we have the darkness between the stars, we have those characters have a lot of differences to them. Yes, there's even magic and cybernetics in Coriolis too. So Violence Solves Everything, not liking the Mutant Year Zero series, but I appreciate you being here anyway, Violence. So yeah, so that's upcoming. And then we'll see when Sean or Kevin come back again. Kind of mentioned, I think they said it on stream. I hope they said it on stream. If not, that there's some things in the works where they might want to come back and talk to us. We'll just say sooner rather than later. They're welcome to come on. If Sean just wants to come on here and yell at me, he's allowed to. I don't know what he'd yell at me about, but we have an open invite. I'll tell you right now, these creators have open invites to come on anytime they want. Give me a little bit of notice, but I'll shut down anything. Sean and Kevin from Palladium Books, Mark McKinnon from Discami, and I know there's one or two others that we would shut down anything and just say, come on in. What about your OSR guys? What about people within your circles? Well, we could do those as well. I'd let people on to talk about things that Jeffrey Talanian, there we go. I'd let Jeffrey Talanian. I just don't know how to talk to him about. But yeah, there are certain people that we like here that absolutely. So I'm sure there will be another time or two that will kind of push the year zero stuff. That's why I have the year zero stuff only scheduled through October. Because if we have to push it in November, no problem. Anyway, yeah, what this channel needs is more play. Well, right now we're talking about year zero, sir, and I have to talk about year zero until I put up. There we go. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff still going on here. And yes, there will be Palladium, and yes, there'll be year zero. We like them both. And like I said, Sean and Kevin even said that they like Free League stuff. So I'm happy to hear that, because I like Free League as well.